Elsa. Do you want to listen to The Year of Spaghetti? I don't know if you've been listening. Hi, Hangsa. Thank you. I'm just waiting for Win because strangely she cannot load my stream. Yes! Hi! Okay. Yeah, Elsa, I can keep, you can choose either that I keep continuing on where I left off, or I can start it again if you're interested in staying here for like probably 15 minutes because I'll be reading this story, which is like 6 pages long, and I'm very excited this evening. So okay, I can continue. I will continue where I left off. Okay. The Year of Spaghetti continued. So, we were at... This guy was talking to his friend's ex-girlfriend. I'll reread that part again. When the phone rang at 3:20, I was sprawled out on the tatami, staring at the ceiling. A pool of winter sunlight had formed in the place where I lay. Like a dead fly, I lay there, vacant, in a December 1971 spotlight. At first, I didn't recognize it as the phone ringing. It was more like an unfamiliar memory that had hesitantly slipped in between the layers of air. Finally, though, it began to take shape, and in the end, a ringing phone was unmistakably what it was. It was 100% a phone ring in 100% real air. Still sprawled out, I reached over and picked up the receiver. On the other end was a girl so indistinct that by 4:30 she might very well have disappeared altogether. She was the ex-girlfriend of a friend of mine. Something had brought them together, this guy and this indistinct girl, and something had led them to break up. I admit, reluctantly played a role in getting them together in the first place. "Sorry to bother you," she said, "but do you know where he is now?" I looked at the phone, running my eyes along the length of the cord. The cord was sure enough attached to the phone. I managed a vague reply. There was something ominous in the girl's voice, and whatever troubling was brewing, I knew I didn't want to get involved. "Nobody will tell me where he is," she said in a chilly tone. "Everybody's pretending they don't know, but there's something important I have to tell him, so please, tell me where he is. I promise I won't drag you into this. Where is he?" "I honestly don't know," I told her. "I haven't seen him in a long time." My voice didn't sound like my own. I was telling the truth about not having seen him for a long time, but not about the other part. I didn't know his address and phone number. Whenever I tell a lie, something weird happens to my voice. No comments from her. The phone was like a pillar of ice. Then all the objects around me turned into pillars of ice, as if I were in a J.G. Ballard science fiction story. "I really don't know," I repeated. "He went away a long time ago, without saying a word." The girl laughed. "Give me a break. He's not that clever. We're talking about a guy who has to raise a noise no matter what he does." She was right. The guy really was a bit of a dim bulb. But I wasn't about to tell her where he was. Do that, and next I'd have him on the phone, giving me an earful. I was through with getting caught up with other people's messes. I'd already dug a hole in the backyard and buried everything that needed to be buried in. Nobody could have ever dig it up again. "I'm sorry," I said. "You don't like me, do you?" she suddenly said. I had no idea what to say. I didn't particularly dislike her. I had no real impression of her at all, and it's hard to have a bad impression of somebody you have no impression of. "I'm sorry," I said again, "but I'm cooking spaghetti right now." "What?" "I said I'm cooking spaghetti." I lied. I had no idea why I said that, but that lie was already a part of me, so much so that, at the moment at least, it didn't feel like a lie at all. I went ahead and filled an imaginary pot with water, lit an imaginary stove in an imaginary match. "So?" she asked. I sprinkled imaginary salt into the boiling water, gently lowered a handful of imaginary spaghetti into the imaginary pot, set the imaginary kitchen timer for 12 minutes. "So I can't talk. The spaghetti will be ruined." She didn't say anything. "I'm really sorry, but cooking spaghetti's a delicate operation." The girl was silent. The phone in my hand began to freeze again. "So could you call me back?" I added hurriedly. "Because you're in the middle of making spaghetti?" she asked. "Yeah." "Are you making it for someone, or are you going to eat it alone?" "I'll eat it by myself," I said. She held her breath for a long time. Then slowly breathed out. "There's no way you could know this, but I'm really in trouble. I don't know what to do." "I'm sorry I can't help you," I said. "There's some money involved too." "I see." "He owes me money," she said. "I lent him some money. I shouldn't have, but I had to." I was quiet for a minute, my thoughts drifting towards spaghetti. "I'm sorry," I said, "but I've got the spaghetti going, so—" She gave a listless laugh. "Goodbye," she said. "Say hi to your spaghetti for me. I hope it turns out okay." "Bye," I said. When I hung up the phone, the circle of light on the floor had shifted an inch or two. I lay down again in that pool of light and resumed staring at the ceiling. Thinking about spaghetti that boils eternally but is never done is a sad, sad thing. Now I regret a little that I didn't tell the girl anything. Perhaps I should have. I mean, her ex-boyfriend wasn't much to start with. An empty shell of a guy with artistic pretensions, a great talker whom nobody trusted. She sounded as if she really were strapped for money, and no matter what the situation, you've got to pay back what you borrow. Sometimes I wonder what happened to the girl. The thought usually pops into my mind when I'm facing a steaming hot plate of spaghetti. After she hung up, did she disappear forever, sucked into the 4:30 p.m. shadows? Was I partly to blame? I want you to understand my position, though. At the time, I didn't want to get involved with anyone. That's why I kept on cooking spaghetti, all by myself, in that huge pot, big enough to hold a German Shepherd. Durum semolina, golden wheat wafting in Italian fields. Can you imagine how astonished the Italians would be if they knew that they were exporting in 1971 was really loneliness? The end. That was so lonely. I even felt lonely reading it. That was a really good one. One of my favorites again, but I feel like I like every short stories in this book. Again, this is Haruki Murakami's Blind Willow Sleeping Woman. And if you like what you're hearing, you should think about purchasing the book too. It's a good read, and it's really easy too because they're mostly short stories, so you can just pick it up whenever and read it at your leisure. Yeah, spaghetti is love, spaghetti is life. Let me know what you think about the short. If you have constructive criticism, please do tell me. I'm very happy to be doing this because I've been thinking about doing this since forever. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:30. If you're interested, I can find another short to read, or I can just leave it for tomorrow. Yes, let's make spaghetti together. How romantic. Ooh. This makes me hungry, although I had a very full dinner. And I feel like he's really good at making spaghetti too. I like the part where he thinks that someone would knock on his door when he's eating spaghetti. But they wouldn't knock it. They would just about to knock on it. Lots of good stories. Thank you for listening. It really means a lot to me. I'll be reading another one tomorrow, and I think it's gonna be longer than the spaghetti one. If you like what you're listening to, please tune in tomorrow. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Win, for listening to it, although you have crappy Wi-Fi. And suggesting some background music, which I didn't play because it was kind of distracting me. Oh, thank you, baby. But yeah, I can read probably tomorrow. I would read about man eating cats. I will read that story. And it's a pretty long story too. So I'll probably just read that story because I don't want to bore you guys with 2 stories. But man eating cats, that was a really good read. I read it on the plane going back to California after winter break, and it was very well suited for me that time. So thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back after my live stream ended. Really, I'm very grateful. Please give me some comments if you have any, and give me suggestions if you want. I'll also be probably doing novels, if you guys like. But for now, I'm just gonna be doing short stories because it would be easier to follow. Long novels would take a long time, and I guess you gotta keep track of it more. Aw. Yeah. You're welcome. I love doing this. Thank you for listening. This could be really suitable if you're studying, I think, because I feel like sometimes listening to audiobooks help me concentrate. I'm not sure. Or if you're driving, or if you're just chilling on bed, then audiobooks would be the best. And this is like a radio show because it's live. So yeah, please tune in tomorrow. Thank you for listening again. It really means a lot to me. Wow. Tomorrow I'll be reading at this time, so probably 9 p.m. on the dot. Not like today, I was late. But not tomorrow. I will try my best. Thank you. And have a good night, guys. Have a good night. Sleep tight. Make sure you have AC in your room because it's freaking hot. Okay. Thank you. Bye.